Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, can a method call itself in Java? The answer is yes. A method in Java can call itself. You don't have to call another method. A method in Java can call itself. And there is a name for this concept, guys, that is recursion. Okay? Recursion. So method calling itself in Java is called as recursion, guys. And using this recursion, we can solve a lot of problems that cannot be solved without a method calling itself. So one such kind of example or problem statement that I can show you or solve as part of practical demonstration in this session is finding the factorial of a number. To get the answer for the factorial of a number using the Java programs, we have to make a method call itself using the concept known as recursion. So let me demonstrate that so that you will understand the answer that yes, in Java, a method can call itself. Okay, with all this practical demonstration, you will get the answer as yes, guys. So for that, I'll switch to the Eclipse ID and going to create a new class. I'll just name this class as class 3, let's say. And here I'm going to create a main method. Okay, the main method is the method from the execution generally starts. So once the class is created, inside that main method got created. Here I'll create one more method, guys. Okay, one more method to calculate or find out the factorial of the number. Okay, I'll simply write on public void find factorial. Okay, find factorial is the name of the method I'm giving. You can give any name for this. It's a user defined name. The way that I have given the user defined name for the class name, similarly, I give a user defined name for this method name. And to this, we have to pass the number for which we have to find the factorial of. Okay, for this particular method, we have to pass the number for which you have to find the factorial of. So here from the main method, let's say int number is equal to, I'll decide the number. Let's say if I decide the number as 5, we have to find the factorial of the number 5. How can the factorial of the number can be found? This 5 value have to pass, have to call this method, and this method will contain the logic which will find the factorial of the number. So for that, I'll call this method, guys. From the main method, I'll call this method. Okay, from this main method, I'll call this method. From the main method, I'll call this method. So, and while calling the method, I'll just pass the number here. Okay. There is number, current number is 5, guys. Okay. That number 5 I'll call. I'll pass as an argument. This number 5 I'm passing as an argument. 5. Fine. So here, find factorial cannot make a static reference. You have to make this static, guys, because main method is static. So this method also should be static if you want to directly call it. So that's the reason we got that error. Find factorial and number is there. Okay. So, and here we are passing the number and find factorial of this particular 5 will go here. And whatever the logic will write will, find the factorial of the number. So I'll write down something. If that particular number is equal to 0, okay, if this particular number, this parameter is passed with the number 0, then this particular method should return 1. Okay. Otherwise, if you multiply with 0, right, it will come 0. So we have to return 1. And the return type is in number, integer format. So let's just keep it int. Return type, you just make it int. And here else, if it is not, if the number is not 0, then what we have to do? If the number is not 0, then we have to return it as number into number multiplied by, again, I have to make this particular method call itself factorial of number minus 1. So what exactly is this factorial concept that I'm going to explain? Okay, I'm going to write the program. For example, if you have to find the factorial of a number 5, let's say, in Java, if you have to find the factorial of a number 5, then it will be something like this, guys. Okay, then it will be something like this. If you pass 5 into 4 into 5 minus 1 is what? 4. 4 minus 1 is what? 3. 3 into 2 into 1. Last number should be 1. It should not be 0, guys. Okay, it should not be 0 anymore. If you multiply by 0, what will happen? It will result in 0. That's why 0 is not allowed. If 0 comes, we'll return the 1. Okay, final case. 5 into 4 into 3 into 1. That is 5 for the 20, 20, 3 is a 60, 60 to the 120. We should get the output as 120, guys. Okay, we should get the output as 120. So here return number into factorial of number minus 1. Put a semicolon here. That's it. So how the program will work, I'll tell you. The execution will start from the main method and the number we are giving it as 5. We want to find the factorial of the number 5. So find factorial of 5. So this method will be called and 5 will be passed into this num. So if num is equal to 0, is 5 equal to 0? No. So this if block will not be executed. So return 1 will not happen, guys. Then this return statement will be executed where num into, that is number is what? 5. 5 into find factorial of. So here you see, I'll put a comment here. 5 into this find factorial of fact of, I'll just make it small. Instead of, I cannot write find factorial big one, right? Factorial of 5 minus 1 is how much? 4. So this find factorial of 4 is calling itself. You see, this particular method is calling itself. So what will happen in this case? So this method will be again called with the number 4. Okay, this particular thing is passing 4 here. So if number 4 is equal to 0, no, then return 4 into find factorial of 3. This will be replaced by return 4 into factorial of 3. Okay, like this it will happen. Find factorial of 3. That means here 5 into 4 already came. This find factorial of 3 is being called. The same method is calling by itself. This is called as recursion in Java. And here 3 is equal to 0 is false again. Here return number is what? Return number into, okay, return number into 3 came, right? Here in this place, instead of fact of, for fact of 3, what is being written? 3 into fact of 2 is being written, okay? This part is being written when you call this, right? The return type of this function is, number into 3 into fact of 2. Now find factorial of 2 is being called. 2 will go here. 2 is not equal to 0. So hence no return 1 will happen. Return for this fact of 2, what will be written? 2 into fact of 2 will be written as 2 into find factorial of 1. Fact of 1. Okay, find fact of 1. This will be the case. Now, this find factorial of 1 will go here. 1 is not equal to 0. Again, return 1 into find fact of 1 minus 1, 0. Here it will become 1 into, here it will become 1 into, the return type will be, it is returning 1 into fact of 0. Now finally 0 came. Now here 0 will be passed. So 0 is equal to 0 is 2. It will return 1. So in place of fact of 0, 1 will be returned. So what will be the output? Finally, to the initial one, when you pass it 5, right? It calculates this one, 5 into 4 into 3. 5 for the 20, 23 is a 23 is a 60, 62 is a 120. 120 into 1 is 120. And 120 into 120 into 1 is 120. Okay, the output will be 120. 120 should be returned back to whom? This is a return statement. Who is calling actually find factorial for the first time? This 120 will be passed back to the find factorial of number. Here we have to say factorial. Okay, factorial. System.out.println. Because the return type of this method is int, the last return will be done. The solution result will be passed to this find factor first method calling statement, and later onwards the method is calling by itself, okay, until it becomes 0. Okay, the fact of the find fact of 0 it becomes, finally it is returning 1, and then the output 120 is being passed to this find factorial, and here 120 will store and just print it out. The factorial of the number will be printed. Okay, 120. You can make it better, like factorial of number. What is the number here? We have plus this particular number. Okay, plus number here, plus number is colon plus factorial. Like this you have to write it. You can format the print statement like this. Factorial of number is factorial, like this. Run the code, right click, run as Java application. You will see the factorial of number, that is 5 is. I can give a space here because yeah, like this space, so that output will come better, right? The factorial of number 5 is 120. We got the output as 120, guys. Okay, here also we can give a space if you want a better output. Okay, factorial of the number 5 is 120, and this is only the solution of calculating the factorial of number is only possible because a method is calling itself. You see, inside the same method we have a same method calling statement with the same name. Okay, a method is calling itself internally. This is called as recursion in Java, guys, and it's possible in Java for a method to call itself, and this concept is called as recursion. And one of the such kind of examples of the benefits of the recursion is finding the factorial of a number. Okay, so with practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye bye.